Hey, what is going on? Hope everyone had a great week. Welcome to episode 211 of Outside The Chute. I'm your host, Randy Frame. Well, you can tell by my voice that I'm not right. I don't know what's going on. Actually, the night we recorded this last week, this episode, I think that's when my voice started going. And then, you know, I thought it was getting better. And I woke up this morning and I felt like crap, bottom line. But, oh well, it is what it is. Hopefully, you know, I'm better. Wake up tomorrow. Anyway, this week, Hopi and I were joined by one of the true pillars of men's Fastpitch, ISC Hall of Famer, longtime sponsor, coach, manager, and one of the biggest builders of the modern game, Dr. Bob Nydick. From how he first got his start in Fastpitch to the rise of the Kitchener Riversharks to the absolute dynasty run of the New York Gremlins, Bob has seen it all and helped shape a lot of it. We talk about what it takes to build a championship culture, the characters and personalities that define different eras, and some incredible stories from behind the scenes that you won't hear anywhere else. There's insight, there's history, and yes, there are plenty of laughs in this one. While you're here, remember to share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you have a YouTube channel, go hit that subscribe button, please. Anyway, let's get to this amazing episode. This is Outside The Chute, and anything goes.
I got the world in my palm, lights, camera, action, it's on. I can't describe what I'm feeling, ain't never felt this freedom. I got the world in my palm, lights, camera, action, it's on. Ain't never felt this freedom. Could you say that anything goes, anything goes, anything goes, anything goes, anything goes, anything goes. You wanna know me? Real deal hip hop.
Hey, Obi.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, that was loud, actually.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Not bad.
Excellent.
Not bad.
Beautiful day out.
Finally, but I mean,
Yeah.
it was after another little bunch of snow.
45 feet of snow.
Yeah, like I said, I cleared that pass for you today. I'm just damn near died how heavy that snow was.
Goddamn
man.
heart attack snow.
Unreal.
It's fucking heavy.
Unreal. But I mean, you got to have some warm weather there last week.
Yeah, I was in Orlando, or in Kissimmee, I guess, for the International Builder Show convention. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was, you know, I've been to a few shows in my life, and I couldn't get over how big this fucking thing was.
So where was it at? Like, is it like a convention
It's
center?
in a convention center. Yeah. I don't know the name of it. I probably should have got that. But so there were two shows going on. It was the Kitchen and Bath show and then the International Builder Show. Mm-hmm. And there's like 4 wings to this building. I only saw one wing because it would take you fucking 5 days to walk through it.
Really?
Like there was, I worked there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and there had to be hundreds of thousands of people that walked through there. It was dumb.
Wow.
Pretty amazing though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
This one was crazy.
I'll tell you a little crazy story though. So I'm in the booth. I got 2 little crazy stories. I'm in the booth on Wednesday, and like we have displays going and stuff, and people come and ask questions. Of course, that's the whole reason why we're there. So trying to sell the product, and this guy comes up and he starts talking to me, older gentleman, and we're chatting, and he says, "Yeah, I live in North Carolina, but I'm from Canada. I live in North Carolina in the winter, and I'm in Canada in the summer." I was like, "Oh yeah." He goes, "You know much about Canada?" I goes, "Yeah, I know a little bit." I said, "I'm from Atlantic, Canada. I'm from Nova Scotia." He goes, "Oh, geez, I'm from Nova Scotia." I said, "Well, where are you from?" Antigonish. I was like, "What Christ? You're like an hour and a half from where I live." I said, I just name dropping. I was, "Do you know Richie Connors by chance?" He goes, "Yeah, I know who Richie Connors is." I failed to get this guy's name though, but I think he knew him from U Sports, like through St. FX. But that was pretty crazy.
That's unreal.
Yeah,
man.
you know, I'm all the way in Orlando and I meet this guy.
Like your wife says.
Yeah, everywhere I go. So I another little funny story. So on what day did they play the Czechs? Was it Thursday? Team Canada for hockey? Thursday or Wednesday? Whatever day it was.
I think it was Wednesday.
Yeah, whatever day it was. So I had CBC Gem, so I had the game going on my phone, and I was sitting on top of an air handler, and I'm watching it. You know, but customers are coming in and out, so I'm talking to them, talking back, blah blah. Anyway, it goes to overtime.
Yeah.
Was that the Czech game?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it was Czech game.
Yeah,
that's right.
was.
Yeah, definitely was. Yeah, because it's part of my story.
Exactly.
So anyway, I have the phone up there, and then these 2 people come in the booth, and so I turn my head around, and nice lady and man, and they're like, "Hey, how are you?" And just as I turn my head, the lady goes, "Oh, Canada scored." So I turn around and was like, "Oh, yes, we beat the Czechs. That's awesome." I turned back. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was just excited. She goes, "Yes, we're from Czech Republic." I was like, "You know what? You guys did really good." It was just weird.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Only you.
It was pretty cool.
That's hilarious. Actually, that's a perfect segue because my opening thing, I want to talk about the Olympics.
Well, wait 1 sec before you get there, because on my way home.
Oh, you didn't tell me this one.
No, I forgot to tell you. So I get to the airport and I get there early because I'm just fucking weird that way. I get early all the time.
Actually, I was talking to you at the airport.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were talking to me. That's right. And then I knew after that, I'm just sitting there and all of a sudden a guy comes up to me, taps me on the shoulder. Hopi? I was like, yeah.
What?
Darren Smith. I don't know if you remember Smitty. He used to play in our league, our hockey league. I used to work with him at the airport.
Oh, yeah?
Anyway, we worked at Air Canada. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, "Holy fuck, what are you doing?" And they were down visiting or having fun or whatever.
That's unreal.
So that's cool. So we parted ways after a bit and I went to the washroom, and on my way back, fucking Corey Pettipaw.
What?
Yeah, coaches the junior B team.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Pets.
Yeah, Pets is there, and it was his wife Savannah, and then
his
aunt and uncle are there, and then his parents are not at the airport, but they're staying in Florida.
That's unbelievable,
That's so
man.
stupid, man. Yeah, so stupid.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a good time.
That's crazy.
I only got to really spend about 2 hours outside because we were inside the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't get an opportunity to go down and see Greg because we had client dinners every night. But anyway, I did send him a text to let him know I couldn't.
Right on.
But it was great.
Awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
So the Olympics.
Back to the Olympics, yeah.
That final game was the best hockey game I ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Regardless of the outcome.
Yep.
That was the best hockey game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to really explain it. Like the fact that Hellebuck didn't let it's funny. A friend of mine on Facebook posted a photo. Remember Nate had the wide open net.
Yeah.
And he has a picture and it's like a ghost image of Johnny Gaudreau with a stick out, like deflecting it.
Really?
And it's like almost like, holy shit.
Yeah. Wow. That's
like,
cool.
You know what I mean? And then, after the US won, the whole
that was awesome.
And then they brought his kids out.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was pulling out the heartstrings.
Oh, I guess it was.
That was amazing.
But
as much as we hate to see us lose, it was a fantastic game, and I like the way they carried themselves afterwards. The whole Johnny Gaudreau thing.
Yeah, very good.
But I have a fucking. Since then, I have not watched one hocky highlight. I won't watch sports.
I tried to.
Sportsnet.
I tried to last night. I tried to watch something. And I was like,
it burns me up too much, man.
It's almost like this is not even close to being like the Olympics. So
no.
But the whole Olympics was just it was so good. Like all the games were really good. Like
and not just hockey either. Like just the Olympics
sports
in general. I love it.
Yeah,
I enjoy it a lot.
Like it's pretty crazy when curling was getting out of hand. Like somebody posted
Fuck
something
you, John.
Somebody posted something about Tom Wilson stepping in to be the second for Team Canada.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But,
dude, I've learned to love Tom Wilson too.
I think I made a post about it, being a Pittsburgh fan and just absolutely hating Tom Wilson after he fought that French guy in the Olympics and gets the Gordie Howe hat trick. I'm like, I love this guy.
This guy's good.
Unreal.
Who do you think is going to get Rocco Gudis first?
I don't know. I was thinking they played Edmonton last night and I was thinking, well, there's not really anybody in Edmonton that's going to get him. I went through the schedule. They don't play Washington.
Oh,
so
shit.
I was like, I wonder if they play Wilson.
Yeah.
But,
do they play Pittsburgh at all?
They don't play Pittsburgh either.
Darn.
The only... Who was it? I was like, there's only one.
Yeah, but there's lots of Canadians in the league, so hopefully
I know. Oh, Montreal. They play. I was thinking Jack Eye.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Because Jack Eye is half Canadian.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll almost be like, I'm doing this for Sid.
Yeah. And Sid's out for 4 weeks, right?
Yeah, but Sid came out today and said, he doesn't blame Gudis for doing it. Like it was just something. It was a hockey play.
But it is Gudis too.
And I also say this, like
he plays hard.
Yeah, I like. So one thing that pisses me off is
social media,
and not only social media, the news outlets, and it stems to Nathan McKinnon, and his quote about, who the better team was, you be the judge, and that's all they put the quote as, right?
Yeah,
and everybody's like, what a sore loser, like, blah, blah, blah. But the whole thing was, he even said in the whole thing was like, the U.S. were so good. And he's like, they won the gold medal. That's the bottom line. Yeah. And just
they take
like
things
that.
out of
I know. It
context,
drives me nuts. It just drives me nuts. But anyway, one thing. Remember last podcast we did, I said, I was forgetting. I was like, I need to mention something. I was like, remember at the end, I was like, something I was trying to remember. Yeah. So speaking of the Olympics, friend of ours, friend of the podcast that listens to the show from out west.
Yeah.
Anyway, him and I talk back and forth on Facebook. He's been listening to the show since we started.
Mm-hmm.
He knows I'm a Crosby fan.
Yeah. Huh?
Anyway, so I get a text from him like right before the Olympics start.
Yeah.
He's like, asked me for my mailing address, and I was like, "What's up, John?" Anyway, his name's John Steele from Vancouver.
Cool name.
And he's like, "Well, I know you're a Sid fan. I got something I'd like to send you." And I'm not. I was like, "Oh, maybe it's like a card or something."
Yeah.
It comes in the mail. It's an authentic Sidney Crosby Vancouver Olympic jersey.
Fuck off.
Fighting strap and everything in it.
What?
Yes.
Why don't you have it on right now?
I know. Anyway.
That's wicked,
yeah,
man.
So
geez, that's super nice.
I meant to mention that. John, if you're listening, thank you very much. I know I said thank you so much.
Oh, that's
over our
amazing,
text,
man. Yeah. Hey, John, I'm 6'4", 230, and I like extra.
He likes Montreal.
I'm a Habs fan. Yeah.
But anyway, no,
That's awesome.
So yeah, actually, he went to the ISCs and the senior Nats in Vancouver. He also went to the ISCs in Minnesota last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so loves ball, loves Fastpitch. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's like, Randy, you got to get to one of these tournaments. I have a lot of beer to buy you. I was like, I like beer, John.
You sure do.
So anyway, yeah. So hopefully,
that's nice. Thanks, John.
So yeah, thanks, John. Thanks for listening. Love everything. So
yeah, man, that's awesome.
It's awesome. We got a big tournament going on right now. WBSE Pan American Championships, which actually, let's just check that score right now.
It was just 3-0. 3-0. States had a runner on second in the. No, they got out of that. It was top 7.
Right.
Yep.
It's now 4-0 Canada.
Okay.
Actually, I got to plug this. The WBSC Americas app is amazing.
Oh, good.
So anyone listening, the WBSC Americas app, get that. It's fantastic for everything. I think Chris Abbott mentioned it on the feed there during the first day of the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, I downloaded it and I was like, man, that's awesome.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Canada's up to 3 hits now because they were being no hit and winning. What just happened?
Then they were up 3-0 with 1 hit.
Oh, look at it. Denny Benson just hits a triple. Man, that guy is
he's on
fire.
fucking fire.
3 home runs in the tournament.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Denny's like
he's on fire.
Yeah, and then
hopefully he turns into one of those. We were talking earlier about just that scary offensive guy.
Yeah.
Like we don't have the Bradleys anymore, the Lollies.
No, we don't.
All of those guys that have kind of retired.
Yeah, like we were just saying, like Quentin Bruce is probably their most clutch hitter right now.
But there are a lot of young guys too, man.
There's a lot of young guys.
They're going to be good.
And actually, I was saying this as well. The U.S. has a totally different roster than what I've seen.
Yeah.
And, watching the tournament, one guy, who was it, Dante Biagini, the shortstop.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where he came from.
Pretty sound.
Defensively, man, holy cow, he's awesome.
Probably came from baseball, I would guess.
Probably. I think there might be a few guys. And you think I would have, like, the contacts we have, I would have sent a message to somebody asking before we recorded tonight, but I actually,
anyway, that's fine.
I didn't, but anyway,
so they beat them and they still have a chance. They're still in the Super Series. They play Panama and then
see how it goes.
Realistically should beat Panama.
I'm really liking this format better than the World Cup. Like, it seems like obviously they're getting a lot more games.
Yeah, it's a ton of games.
Like a lot of games, which is awesome.
Does it end on Sunday?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
They
good because we have practice Tuesday.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we're starting gym. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Well, we're not going outside rain. There's fucking 14 feet of fucking snow.
Wasn't you just lost my train of thought there with
WBSE?
Yeah. A lot of games, blah blah blah. Sunday. Yeah. So right now we don't know what the playoff round's going.
Yeah.
Well, we know this is super round, but we don't know how.
But we still have a chance, is the thing.
Yeah.
I saw something funny posted on Facebook, and I mean, I don't want to get into politics or any of that bullshit, but they were just talking about Venezuela and the team and how good they were and what made them so good. Everybody was posting steroids. I was like, fuck off. They still have to fucking hit the ball, and then it wasn't all of them that were fucking on steroids. Yeah. It just happened to be there.
Well, actually, they're doing quite well.
They are.
Pimentel, yeah, like very well. Actually, we got this. Blair sent a message to us last night about because that game last night between Dominican and Colombia, where Gonzalez had the no hitter with 18 Ks and lost 1-0.
Yeah,
but Blair sent us this message about Louis Amaya, who the Venezuela pitcher who was pitching for Colombia.
Yeah.
He said he was iced out of the U.S. a couple of years ago when he was picked up by the Toronto Batmen in 2019 for the World Tournament, and then and won the newcomer of the year award.
Yeah.
Because Yan Gonzalez, who threw a losing no-hitter tonight for the Dominican Republic, this is what his text was.
Yeah.
Pitched for the Batman and qualifier that year, couldn't get into the U.S.
Oh my God.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Crazy.
If anybody could follow what I just said.
Good luck to everyone.
Yeah. Anyway, actually, another thing I want to touch on before we get this long, but it is what it is. The U23 World Cup is going to be dominated by pitching.
Do you think?
Bestgrove and Para.
That's fucking nuts.
Para is pitching like a crazy man right now.
Yeah.
I think he's almost pitched every inning for Mexico.
Yeah.
And he is just throwing nasty, nasty stuff.
Yeah.
The one complaint, he complains a lot, but I think that has to do with his age.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It has to.
Yeah.
But either way, man, he is throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jack can still pitch at the U23s is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't get it. I think they should piss test that guy. Like, fuck.
Unreal. But it's going to be fun to watch.
It is, man.
Because,
it's fun.
Like, Canada's going to be right there. Because, they got some I think there's 4 or 5 guys off this team right now. That's
on our senior team.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Whitey,
for sure. Oh, then Max Major.
Not Mitch.
Anyway,
Brubaker.
Yeah. Connor Brooks.
Brooksy. Yeah. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
And so U.S. has Cody Gibbons as well.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
That's unreal.
It's amazing.
Like, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun tournament.
Yeah.
That's in April, is it not?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be awesome.
And Brody Frazier will be there too.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, Brody. Now, actually, I have another thing. I have a lot to bring up.
Holy fuck!
I know we got a lot. The ISC new website is awesome.
Yeah.
Great job by them.
It's good, eh?
It is very good. I like how they have all the teams.
See that we're on there now?
I see that you're on there.
That's awesome.
All the rosters are going to be there, and it's so much more easier to navigate and find stuff than
hats off to them for sure.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Speaking of the ISC, we got another Hall of Famer on tonight.
That's what we do.
Dr. Bob Nydick.
Yes.
He's been a long time sponsor for the New York Gremlins as well as the Kitchener Riversharks.
Yep.
He's won 5 ISCs and 10 ASA titles.
Amazing.
Yeah, 2 Canadian senior men's as well.
Yeah.
Which, pretty funny that an American's winning.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
We'll get into that. When we talked on the phone, he told me that story, which is awesome. I love it because I had to bring up 09 to him, of course.
Why? What happened then?
I don't know. But Bob's had an amazing career as a sponsor, a coach, doing what he does. And, he's one of those good guys in the games that,
but he's very passionate about the sport.
Very passionate.
As you'll see in a 2013 YouTube video.
Oh yeah. Can't wait to bring that up. But anyway, let's get to Dr. Bob Nydick and see what he has to say.
What about Tim I, the real estate guy? Shouldn't you mention him?
Do you need a host? Thanks for the reminder.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you need a host? I know I don't right now, but if you do, get a hold of Tim I, the real estate guy. His number is 902-499-5717. If you're on Facebook, go to Tim Eisner Royal LePage Atlantic and get a hold of Timmy if you're buying or selling, because he'll be saying Tim Eisner strikes again.
Yeah, Timmy.
All right, let's get to Dr. Bob.
Sounds good.
Yo.
All right, here we go. We are happy to have on with us today 10-time ASA champion, 5-time ISC champion, and ISC Hall of Famer. It's the one and only Dr. Bob Nydick. Bob, thanks so much for coming on the pod.
Thank you for having me. It's quite an honor to be here. As I said, I followed you guys for a long time, and you do great work, and you're a great credit to our great sport. So thank you.
Love it.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thanks,
that. Appreciate it. How's things going down in Florida today?
Better than a lot of other parts of the country. So been a lot of snow. I live in the Philadelphia area when I'm not in Miami. So a lot of friends and family have been kind of giving me the gears about how nice it is here and not so nice up north.
Yeah, the East Coast got walloped there over the weekend.
We sure did.
But we did too. Yeah,
yeah, America than us.
Again, two pretty bad storms. So much for global warming.
Yeah.
So much for global warming.
yeah. So how's the winter been going? You obviously you're down in Florida. It's you're away from the snow. What do you do on your days?
A pretty boring life, I guess. I still teach, but I teach at Villanova University,
right?
And but I teach during the fall semester in the classroom, and then I do an online MBA class in the spring semester that's actually getting ready to start in a couple of weeks. Gotcha. So I'm able to be in Florida. So my I do a lot of golfing. Awesome. That's kind of when I stopped playing fast pitch. Obviously, I transitioned into coaching and sponsoring, but golf kind of also became something that I enjoy doing. As much as I enjoy golf, it's still not as good as turning a double play. So
you got that right.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But that golf game though, it can be addictive. You get that.
I'm addicted to it now.
You get a birdie. You get, it's a great game. It's a great game.
Fun. It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. So did you watch any Olympics there, Bob? I mean, we're still heartbroken up here over that hockey loss. So.
Well, I didn't watch a lot. Of course I did, and I was golfing during the men's hockey game, but I was following it on my phone, and obviously a big win for us, and I guess a pretty big upset. Not as big as the 80 upset, but it made a lot of people in this country happy.
That's good.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Definitely.
It was a great game.
It was such a good game. Like we talked about in the opening.
It was a great game. Yeah. Great game. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Although Team Canada, our men's softball team, just did beat the United States 4-0.
4-0 right now. We just finished
just
it.
ended.
Okay.
We got you back.
There you go. There you go.
Not quite the same platform, but either way, we'll take it. So yeah, Bob, let's go back to the beginning here. How did you get your start in fast pitch anyway?
Well, I played baseball in high school and college, and it was actually lived on a street, and there were a couple of guys that played on a local team. And they knew I played at the time. I was playing in high school, and so I guess I was like 16 years old. And they asked me if I'd like to come out and play, and I knew nothing about fast pitch softball, but I thought, well, okay, I can hit a ball overhand. I guess I can try to hit a ball underhand. So, that's when it started. Just a local league in White Marsh, Pennsylvania. And it really, the game didn't really grab me until I went to my first tournament. And, as fun as league is or whatever, as you guys know, when you play tournament ball, it's just completely different. And I got addicted, playing, as we all have all done, playing 3 or 4 games on a Sunday when you get in the losers bracket. Yeah. It's just nothing better than that. No, and I just and the camaraderie. I mean, one of the things I've always said is I'm honored to be part of a very special and fraternity, and I think that really feels like what we are. You can go anywhere in the world and meet people. Yes. And you just have this bond if they're fastball players. And, my wife has been a real trooper. I remember the one weekend when I had when I was coaching, and I just called her up and I said, Blair, well, I call him Ezekiel. He pronounces it as Kyle. I don't know. It's just weird. But I'll just say Blair. Anyway, I called her up. I said, Blair's coming home with me because he's playing next weekend for another team in Pennsylvania, so he's not going to fly home. And I'm bringing this other kid, Sean Cleary, who we picked up for the weekend. He's going to stay with us. But that phone call sounds weird to people that aren't in the sport. But,
yeah, but it's not weird.
I wouldn't be married to my wife today if that bothered her. She was just like, okay. And you just bring people home, and that's what we did. And I still remember that, things like that. And that's what's kind of drew me to the sport, and this is really what's important, and the reason I've stayed in the sport for so long.
Love it.
So when you first started there, was it a high caliber fast pitch? Was it?
It was the lowest level. It was ASAC ball. Okay. You couldn't get any lower. There wasn't ASAD. So we started at the lowest level. And I can still remember our first tournament. So this was probably, I started playing, I graduated high school in 1975. So you can figure out roughly how old I am, 68 years old. But so this was probably like 1976, 77, goes to a couple of years before I figured out there were tournaments. And I was the one that was kind of pushing us to go to tournaments, and we weren't ready to go to tournaments, but but anyway, my first ASAC level tournament, double elimination, we got double no hit. So we literally, I remember going back to a guy's house after the second game Saturday afternoon, and we're talking literally. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. We're talking, and the one guy says, that foul ball in the third inning of the second game, you were right on that. and like that's all we could talk about, foul balls, because nobody had a hit in 2 games. So. I'd like to say I don't think you could start any lower and end up, with some success, as I had. But that's a true story.
It can only get better from there. Right?
Great foul ball. Bob.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And then you know what happens. You just it obviously all starts with pitching. So eventually, you see a pitcher, and and I was fortunate local that nobody else in our area was going to tournaments. So you find somebody with some talent, and you're explaining, you go to tournaments. And so we just kind of started building the team, and eventually eventually we got to an ASA Nationals, and back then you didn't just go, you had to qualify.
Right.
So it was that was
big.
I remember going, I literally told my wife, if I can go to a Nationals one time, I'm going to retire. And in 1995, we went to College Station, Texas for ASAC National Championship. And we did pretty well there. We were a decent team. And, I came home, after the tournament, and like October, I said to my wife, okay, I'm done playing tournament ball. I'm done playing, serious. I'll just go back play in the local league, and that's it. And it was probably about December. And I said to my wife, do you remember when I said I'm done? And she says, yeah. I said, I'm feeling like an old man, and I can't stop. And she said, I didn't believe you anyway. Just go play.
Perfect.
But I actually honestly thought I could just go to one national championship and walk away.
No way.
And of course you can.
God, no.
You can't.
No, sir.
And, and then you grow the team, and then you start attracting, better players. Andy Jackson, who maybe you guys remember.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. I played against him.
He was my first international player that I signed.
Is that right?
And
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Andy and AJ and I still have again, you see AJ, he eventually, I think he won an ISC2 a few years back. And, I was following him and at that tournament. But yeah, and then Paul Court was probably like the first big name that I signed.
Yeah. So Bob, when did things start getting, I guess, serious for you as far as, getting these, Andy in and Cordy in?
Well, that was, I did the ASA in 95, and then I went to NAFA because, again, you didn't have to qualify to go to NAFA.
That's right.
So, so I went to NAFA from 96 to probably about 03. But you're again, constantly trying to get better and meeting players. And, so from in 04, I went to my first ISC, and, that was when I think 04. And again, I had Todd Martin, and Todd Martin remembers every pitch from every game.
Oh yeah,
and
we know
every gate. Yeah. And I know you guys have interviewed, had him
that
on.
was amazing.
So I don't know how he does that. I'm not as good with dates and so forth. But so if anybody's fact checking this, it's just because I just don't remember. Like some people
That's okay.
remember.
All good.
We don't judge.
Yeah. So, but we were the Quaker Riversharks, and I did that for a couple of years, and we were just a local team, a very good local Pennsylvania team with some Canadian players, and that made us competitive. And everyone at ISC just took us for granted, so they didn't even throw their second pitcher against us. They threw with their third pitcher.
Oh yeah.
We surprised some teams, and we did okay. And now all of a sudden, you're top 10 in ISC. We weren't really, but we finished top 10 in 03 and or 04 and 05.
Mm-hmm.
And then what really changed is I met Denny Bruckert, and he changed my life, and he certainly changed my softball life. And he brought me into the major game at a much higher level.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Aurelia Riversharks in 06 and 07. And, but then we realized, with that team, we weren't going to get over the hump. And, we hooked up with Jim Hallman. And in 08, 09, and 2010, we were the Kitchener Rivershark twins.
Yeah.
And that's when we had, that's when my success really started with Jim. We won, we were fortunate enough to win ISC in 08 and 09, and won ASA in 2010, and actually won 2 Canadians in 09 and 2010. And
oh yeah, that's right.
I've said this before. Matter of fact, Blair Setford picked up on it, and I said at my Hall of Fame induction that I think I might be the only U.S. citizen with a Canadian
national
championship, because I didn't play. I was coaching and sponsoring.
Right.
So I don't know if that's true, but
it's got to be.
I can't think of any others.
I think it's got to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but again, and then I don't know if I think there's a funny story about our 09 team.
Well, there is definitely a funny.
What happened in 09,
story
Randy?
09. Somebody here may have beaches, but Wolfie wasn't there, so that kind of helped.
Exactly. Well, in 09, as I remember, and again, you guys can correct me for whatever facts are, but I think we were in St. Thomas in 09.
Yep. That's right. Yeah.
And I'm up there. I'm an assistant coach. Denny was Denny, I guess. No, actually, Denny wasn't the head coach. I think actually Doug. Sorry for not remembering all the details, but I'm an assistant coach. First game, they stopped the game in the middle of the game. By the way, my son, who we call Streeper, because we have like 9 Gregs on the team, so Streeper is his middle name. He told me not to tell this story, so
then you have to.
I think I have to.
Yeah.
But so they stopped the game, and there was some older gentleman who was probably like Mr. Softball St. Thomas or whatever. I have no idea who he was, but he says you're not allowed in the dugout, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I guess the Canadian Nationals, they have a lot of rules, and they're serious about their rules. So since I was not a Canadian citizen, I was not allowed in the dugout. Well, Dave Bailey and Todd Martin, they were kind of embarrassed. And they said, well, he's our coach and he's one of our major sponsors. And the guy goes, I don't care who he is. He's not allowed in the dugout. And so I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? So they have a conversation sort of off to the side. And the guy comes back and he says, okay, here's our compromise. You're allowed in the dugout, but you're not allowed to step foot on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. So I was allowed in the dugout, and I didn't even go out to shake hands afterwards.
That's weird. Jesus Christ.
I wasn't, yeah, well, but whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad. It was just like, okay.
Yeah.
So I remember we're playing in the championship game, and like sometimes happens, whoever assigns umpires, and again, I don't mean anything by it, but the umpire they assigned couldn't handle the pitching in the championship game, and he was just in over his head.
Yeah. And
I forget, we were on the third base side, the third base dugout, and I forget who the umpire was on the third base side, and both teams were chirping at the home plate ump, and like in the fourth inning, he in between innings, he says, Bob, the third base ump, he says, Bob. He says, come here. He says, you got to do me a favor. And so I go out in between innings, and he goes, look, this guy's obviously having a tough time. He says, try to just keep your guys under control. Just talk to him. I'm talking to the ump. We're going to try to get through the game best we can. But, and I said, all right, so I go back in, and this old guy is right there, starts yelling at me for being on the field. And at this point, I just explode because I go, well, if you had assigned an umpire that could handle this pitch, and I wouldn't have to be out there. Your third base umpire asked me to calm everybody down on my team, and I'm yelling, and then I realize I'm just yelling at this old guy, and I'm like, oh Jesus. And I apologized, and he just kind of went away, but I was kind of yelling at him pretty good, and so I was just a little frustrated. So
that old fellow was on the hunt for you anyway. He was watching. Please walk on the field. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He had his eye on me because I just about got back to the dugout, and he's there yelling at me for being on the field. So.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a great story.
But anyway, we did win that, and there's a picture somewhere of that guy reluctantly handing me and Jim Hallman the trophy.
Oh wow, jeez.
handing you the trophy on the field. He's like, you're not supposed to be on here.
Exactly. And I proudly have that trophy with all my other championship trophies in my basement.
That's awesome.
So
that's beautiful.
That's awesome. So nice. Right? It was my favorite nationals ever. So I'm happy for you, man. That was awesome.
Well,
Swing the next evolution of one-piece fast-pitch power, the 2026 Easton Ghost Unlimited Fast-Pitch Bat. This year's model takes everything hitters loved about the Unlimited and pushes it even further, delivering a hotter, cleaner, and more responsive feel than ever before. With a redesigned double-barrel EXT and a fully optimized handle system, the 2026 Ghost Unlimited is engineered to outperform both prior Ghost Unlimited models, with more consistent exit speeds and improved overall barrel response. A key upgrade comes from its optimized handle stiffness, engineered individually for each drop and length. Shorter and lighter sizes feature a slightly softer feel for better control, while longer and heavier sizes unlock a stiffer handle that creates a more powerful connected swing. Compared to the previous Unlimited designs, this fine-tuned handle optimization allows hitters to generate more leverage without sacrificing comfort or feel. The improved double-barrel EXT design delivers even more consistent pop from end to end than past Unlimited barrels, while the Sonic Comp Pro composite brings Easton's lowest compression and most durable one-piece construction yet, resulting in higher performance potential than the previous two Unlimited models, paired with that unmistakable ghost sound. Combined with the Power Boost soft knob and reduced sting across all sizes, the 2026 Ghost Unlimited offers smoothest, hottest one-piece experience the Ghost lineup has ever produced. Get your 2026 Easton Ghost Unlimited Fast Pitch Bat and feel what happens when refined feel and next-level barrel tech come together to create the most advanced Unlimited yet.
I want to go back to 2008 and that first ISC championship. I mean,
that had to be, pretty cool, especially, starting back in the 70s in the game and, coming up through and being able to win that the first ISC championship in 08 had to be pretty special.
Well, there's a picture I have hanging in my basement of me and Denny Bruckert hugging. And after I finished hugging him, and he said to me, I've won rings for every he said, I've won rings for every sponsor that I've been associated with. And he said, and this one's special because I got you your first ring. And when it was very emotional, and I left hugging him, and I immediately went over to hug my son. And
that's awesome.
I'm confident enough to tell you, I broke down and I was crying. And my son said later, he said, I never saw you cry before. But it was just, you think about, in 1978 or whatever it was, you start getting double no hit, and then here you are winning the ISC World Championship.
Amazing.
And it was just an overwhelming feeling. And a bunch of guys like that, I maybe shouldn't tell this story either, because, I don't want to.
We love it.
Well, but Ryan Wolf, we were trying to sign Wolfie to that team. And, Doc Simmons, who I became, pretty close with, we had mutual respect. We both competed. He won some, he beat me a fair amount, and I beat him a few times. But we were both trying to sign Ryan Wolf on that 08 team, or I think it was the 08 team. And I just called him up, and I played against him at that point, but I didn't know him, and he didn't know me. I mean, I was a nobody, and I just said, but he was arguably the best player in the game at the time. And he had won some worlds with Doc, and Doc wanted him back, and we wanted him. And I called him up, and we had a nice conversation, and I just said to him, Ryan, I don't know, how you're going to make this decision, because you've had a lot of success with Doc, and he's got a great team over there. And I said, but all I have to offer is you'd be coming home to play with your friends. And because, that Kitchener team, it was Patty Shannon as the catcher.
Yeah.
And we had Blake Miller as the second baseman. I think every other player was Canadian.
Yep. That's right.
And a lot of them were Ontario, and I said, Ryan, all I'm going to do is tell you, follow your heart, and whatever you decide to do, I'm happy with, but I would just ask you to follow your heart. And he told me later that was what convinced him to come, because he would have had to tell all his friends he's not going to play with him. And that was all I had. That was the only thing I can think of.
Right.
Yeah.
And I meant that, I absolutely meant that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do, especially with Wolfie, man.
And you got Wolfie.
And we got him, and all the pieces fell into place.
Absolutely.
And, we put that team together in 08, and we won the ISC in 08. And
how good was Marty in that tournament? Like, man.
Marty told me early in the season, because, again, I'm giving you some inside information that I don't even know. But Marty was the number 2 pitcher on that team at the beginning of the year. And he told me, he says, I'm going to convince you that by the end of the year, I'm going to be the number 1 pitcher on this team. And that's how competitive Todd is and was. And I always said, if you had one game to win of all the pitchers that I've been associated with, Michael White threw for me, but that was his last year of his career.
Yeah.
But, Frank Cox, Cheese, now Jack, Besgrove, but if you had one game to win, I probably give the ball to Todd Martin.
Wow. That's huge. Yeah.
He's just such a competitor, and that, he started the 08 championship game, and he gave up a couple runs, and we brought Cox in, and Frank held them down, and then Frank you know, I don't know. He threw a pitch and he went down. I don't know what happened, but Marty, of course, it was in the 7th inning and Marty was warming up anyway in case we needed him.
Yeah.
And Marty came in that game and threw 6 warm-up pitches. Every one of them hit the backstop. He came in and it was 2-strike count with 1 out. And every pitch hit the backstop, and each pitch was faster than the previous pitch.
Yeah, pretty amped up.
And what I didn't know is I think Dave Bailey was warming him up on the sideline, and he said to him when he came in to finish out, he goes, "We're starting with a changeup," and he just, even in the warm up pitches, Marty was setting him up. And the first, Marty, of course, if you know Todd Martin, you know his changeup was his best pitch.
Oh yeah, God, yeah,
amazing.
He threw a changeup. I think I forget who the batter was, but he probably could have swung 5 times. He just watched 5-6 pitches come in at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and then he throws a changeup and strikes him out.
Yeah, gas off the screen.
Exactly, and he got the last, and then he got the last out, and we were running around like little kids, and it was. It was just such a huge thrill.
That's awesome. Marty could tell you who he faced that last at bat, what the count was, what the barometric pressure was. Yeah, what do you have for dinner?
yeah. And as special as that 2008 team was, that 2009 game was, that was probably the best softball game I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Todd got hurt.
And then Dino. Well, actually, you guys got Dino from Saskatoon because you guys faced Dino in the finals there in 2008.
We did face Dino in the finals, and then I got a phone call saying we could pick up, we had an opportunity to get Dino. That was probably like January or whatever, and so we you don't turn down that opportunity to get a special player like that. And of course, this was when the 2009 team was Phil Rogers, and they, I had mostly I had virtually all Canadians, and Phil had basically the best players from the New Zealand team and the best players from Australia, and he had Folkert and he had Cheese on that team.
Yeah,
wow.
And there's no prawn rule back then, and of course he could only pitch one of them, but that was when Folkert was,
prime.
He was something special.
Oh my God.
And I remember, and it was Quad Cities before they had lights that are now okay. The lights were awful, and we were playing them at night. And I remember in like the 4th inning, Wolfie strikes out and he comes back to the dugout and he says, "That pitch can't be hit." I remember Wolfie saying that.
Wow.
And I said, "Wolfie, you can't say that. You're the best hitter in the world."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he goes, "I'm telling you, that pitch can't be hit." And, but what happened in that game, Todd went down probably in the, 1st or 2nd inning, and Dino came in, and I don't know if he threw any pitch other than rise balls. And it was a special night for him. And 2 outs in probably like the 4th or 5th inning, he hits, Folkert hit Blair with 2 outs. Dino got a single to right center, 1st and 3rd, and Brad, Blair's brother, hits a chopper off the plate. And we all, as soon as it was, we've all seen, been around games, a million games. And as soon as it went up, you knew the shortstop was coming in. This guy's name was Shaw. And it was going to be one of those bang, bang plays. He was either going to short hop it and throw Brad out by a half a step, or he wasn't going to come up with it. Well, that night he didn't come up with it. And
wow,
that was the game, 1-0. And,
wow.
And I remember hugging Jody after that game. And I said, "How do you beat a team like that? It can't be done." And he said to me, and I don't know if this is what you guys are looking for.
Oh, absolutely.
What you get
This is
me.
the best.
Yeah, I love this, man.
Best.
You do all the talking. I love it.
Okay. All right. Well, stop me.
No.
Take me in a different direction. But
nope.
But Jody looked at me and he said, "To win a game like that takes big balls. And this team has big balls." And he said,
love it.
And then he said, "Phil assembled the best players in the world." he said, but you put the best team together. And tonight, the best team beat the best players. That's what Jody Eight said to me on the field in 2009 after that game. And you couldn't have summed it up any better than that.
That's awesome. Because, I mean, actually, looking at the 2009, like, all-world selection, Cheese and Adam were both on the first team. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, both pitchers from the same team being on the first team all-world selection. Like, that's pretty crazy. That's
exactly.
That's great. And actually, you mentioned the lights there, and if you go back and watch, because it is on YouTube, you can watch the game. It is dark as all get out. Like, I know, like you can hardly see a pitch going by. So I know what Wolfie's saying. Like, how do you hit that stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, but there were, like we have the rivalry now with obviously with Hill and other teams, but Hill's our big rival. Back then it was us and Patsy's, with Phil Rogers and but there was respect. And I think there was mutual respect from both teams, and obviously Adam, beat us a lot more than we beat him, especially early and mid in his career. As he got a little older, and I think the Gremlins, stepped up and got a little better, and so we had some success against him late. But I'll tell you, he was just so dominant for so long. But it was fun. It was fun going against those guys, even if you came out on the wrong end. And you guys remember Patsy's had a big guy, Louis Jaglar. I don't know if you remember him.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, he was like 6'6". I think again, I might not get all this info right, but I think I heard like the San Diego Padres drafted him. He was away for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then he was training literally to be an MMA fighter. And he was a good ball player, but he was huge. Well, we had a little bench clearing incident in Allentown, Pennsylvania in 2009, before Worlds. And I'm in uniform, and my wife is in. She would only come to, at best she would come to one tournament a year. And since we lived about an hour away from Allentown, she's in the stands in Allentown, and they hit Patty Shannon for the Musi hit Patty Shannon for probably like the third time in the weekend. And Patty says something to Musi when he's gone down to first, and Musi says something back. Next thing you know, the bench is clear, and I'm in uniform, so I got to go, and I go out and I find Louis. Well, and for those of you who don't, I'm like 5'9" at most, 5'8", 5'9". Louis 6'8", whatever he is, and I grab Louis by the shirt, and I just grab him and like hard,
Yeah.
And I got a hold of his shirt, and he looks down. First of all, he's like 32 at the time or whatever, and I'm however old I was, 50 or whatever. And he just starts laughing, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I go, "Louis, we're all going to stay calm." And I mean, nothing happens. These things happen in softball games, and nothing ever really happened. But my wife, after the game, she goes, "Are you nuts? What were you doing with him?" And I said, "Well, I knew he wouldn't do anything to me." And I said, "I was just trying to make sure everything stayed calm." But she goes, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
So then I see Louis, probably 10 years later. And I see him at a tournament. He's not playing anymore, and we were just at the same tournament. And he comes up to me and he says, "Bob, I hear you're telling everybody you grabbed me in Allentown." I go, "Louis, that was one of the highlights of my career." I said, "I was hoping you became an MAA world champion, so I could say, yeah, that guy didn't want any parts of me."
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I hope Louis listens to this, and
I hope so too. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that stuff. That's great. That's great, Bob. Speaking about getting worked up, I got to talk about the 2013 finals there in that final game, that play at the plate.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
Somebody got a little worked up there. Okay, safer out.
Well, we've got photo evidence that seems to indicate that he was out.
I will say this: great throw by Matty.
Yeah,
great throw, and yeah, I think Patty was hurt. I don't think that was Patty catching. Maybe it would have been a little different if Patty was blocking the plate. I don't know if that was Abe's. I don't even remember. But the way we saw it, we got the tag down. But that game again, I might get a few facts wrong, but I believe that was another Falkert game. I think he had a perfect game after 7 innings. And we had a pretty good hitting team, Travis Wilson and Reese Casely. And I'm pretty sure he had a perfect game, and Cheese was throwing, and I think Cheese had a no-hitter. So it went 7 innings. It went 8 innings. It went 9 innings. I don't know. That was maybe the 10th or 11th inning.
Jeez.
And again, it was one of those games, and I don't blame the umpire. I blame whoever assigned that umpire to that game, but he couldn't handle the pitching.
Yeah, that's tough.
And he just wanted to be out of there from like the second inning on. And you know how it is when both teams are complaining. It's tough. It's just it was unfortunate. And so for those of you that don't remember, he called the the runner safe at home, which it was the bottom of the inning, so it ended the game. And I did lose it. And there's actually at the Hall of Fame, the gift that the Gremlin team gave me was that picture that they had blown up, signed by every umpire that was there, including. I need to find that ump this year and sort of apologize. We've seen each other and we've kind of acknowledged, but and we obviously know who each other. And I was over it, probably a couple of years. It takes a while to get over something like that.
I thought you were going to say a couple of weeks. I was like, no way.
and if you've seen the picture, if they sent you the picture, like they were afraid I was going to hit him, which I was never going to hit him. I was never that much out of it. But I was blocking his way. He was trying to get off the field. Yeah. And whichever way he moved, I moved that way. So he was actually running, he was like hitting me to try to get off the field, and I'm like screaming at him, "You've ruined the greatest ISC World Championship game of all time. You couldn't handle the pitching." And I'm just screaming at him. I'm embarrassed, now, but the way it is, you get worked up, and I had my guys back, and I mean nothing you could do about it. There was you couldn't go to instant replay or anything. So and I told Falkert, several years later, I said, the two greatest softball games I've ever been involved with, you pitched both of them. And I said, we beat you in 2009 and then you beat us in that game. And it was a great game. They were both great games.
Definitely.
Nice.
Definitely were. Yeah. I was talking to Vermi today and we were texting back and forth about that 2013 game, and he's like Bob was in another zone. Like,
I was in control enough that I was never going. There was never going to be anything physical, but I was in a different place, and no question about that. And you're not proud of it, but it shows what kind of passion and. My players know I have their backs. And,
you wear your heart.
I remember going out. And this was a low-level team. I mean, we were majors. It was an ASA major in Florida, and the ump was, whatever. And I go out and I start, I'm yelling at the ump, and I finally, and I wasn't. It was just I was fairly calm, but I'm like, you're going to have to throw me out of this game. He goes. And I'm saying this sort of under my breath. And he goes, what are you talking about? I go, I got to protect my players, and you have to throw me out. And he goes, but you're not doing anything to get thrown out. And I go, you have to throw me out. I don't care what you do. And he goes, you really want to be thrown out? And I go, you have to throw me out. And he threw me out. But you're trying to protect your players and tell your players you have their back. And anyway,
that's you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, get your team fired up too.
Absolutely. Definitely. So I guess from, losing in 2013 after that, I mean, you guys, as far as the Gremlins go, I mean, you guys just created a wagon there. I mean, you finally won in 2018. I mean, talk about the build up, forming that team to what it was to, finally win in 2018 and 19.
Well, actually, Varmy called me yesterday, and he told me that he told you guys to bring up my farewell letter.
Oh,
so
right.
Maybe you were, maybe you were saving that, but it sort of fits.
Let's talk about that.
It sort of fits here. So I don't know. but I wrote a letter and posted it on Outdoor and saying farewell, and I meant that, and I did. I walked away in 2011. We had some issues, and with how things were being run at the time. So I said, all right, that's it, and I did. But like I tell Varmy, it's like The Godfather. Every time I try to get out, they pull you back in, so I had there were probably about 3 or 4 teams called, and want to know if I wanted to get back. And I told everyone the same thing. I will call my son and ask if he wants to go back to that team. And each time the answer was no, until I got a call from Greg Leather. And he had a bunch of players that had played for me before. And I always, Greg had obviously, as you know, transitioned from the modified game. And I always had the utmost respect for Greg. I didn't know Varm that well. I've gotten to know Varmy a lot better. But we've all gotten to know Varm. He's one of a kind.
Love him.
Varm's he's not even a chapter in the book of ISC he's a volume of his own. But But I called my son and I said, look, we have an opportunity. Leather wants us to come with the Gremlins, and here's Denny Bruckert, who was coaching. And Greg Leather credits me with really introducing him to Denny and making that happen. And that's when we decided to put that version of the team together. And, I don't take credit for much with the Gremlins, because Greg Leather, I've said this before and I'll say it again. In my mind, Greg Leather is the best softball mind I've ever been around. And I don't know if I haven't met anyone who cares more about the fast pitch game than Greg Leather. Yeah. I just cannot have more respect, for Greg, and I'd be involved in anything he'd want to do. He's just, I just think that much of him. But the only thing I will take credit for is I basically said to those guys, because we kept losing to Falkert, and I said, the only thing the way I put it is, our 3, 4, 5 hitters need to be our 6, 7, 8 hitters. And I said, you're not going to win because, at the time, Adam could take some batters off, or, maybe some innings off, or parts of innings. And I said, you're not going to beat him unless your 3, 4, 5 hitters that we have now are your 6, 7, 8 hitters.
Oh, great point.
And, that's when we went out, we got Chewy and we got, Jerome Ramiki, and we got Ben Anoka, and those were 3 pretty good. Well, I guess they're 2, 3, 4 hitters, but you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, and that's that's what's made the difference. And and Varm, Varm wasn't sure we should do that. Varm's very loyal, and I'm a loyal person also, and I've never had a player that wanted to continue to play for me, and I said, no, you can't, continue to play. The only, you explain the role to them, and if the role fits, it might, you might go from, a starter to a platoon player or a bench player, but, and as long as they fit into the culture, that's, which to me is really the key. Definitely. And that's what that 09 team had, the culture of that team and the closeness of that team. And as long as you have that, then, you can do a lot of winning, and winning isn't the only thing. I mean, it's, obviously it's important, and, all the rings that you rattled off there at the beginning, it is overwhelming. Yeah. But it's not just about the rings. It's about, to me, you've got to win in the right way, and you've got to lose, win with class and lose with dignity, I always like to say. And, I've tried to do that in my career.
That's, one thing we've learned over the years doing the podcast is that all of the big teams are a family focused, that guidance, that rule of, team first has been so important to those big teams and the big teams that win. There's always that culture around those teams. And you just explained that with New York. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I got, winning in 18 and 19, especially after the run that Hill went on through those mid-teens. I mean, that had to be pretty special, especially with that group, because I mean, essentially that's still pretty much the group that's there today.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's always about the players, because whenever we win a ring, we always say in the huddle afterwards, okay, which one of you is this your first ring? Like that's important, and you acknowledge that. And we always joke with Varm that he never won any ASA rings because he was always away on he was always away on vacation.
That's right. Yeah.
Because he would shut down his shop. Yeah. Yeah. And he was always away. Of course, some people argued that's why we won all those ASAs, because he wasn't there. And but we won a bunch of ASAs, but we never won an ISC. And Varm was always at ISC. And I got to tell you, I got a little emotional for Varm when we won in 18, because that's a guy that put a lot into the sport. And I'm not talking just money. People, they talk about big money teams, and we're obviously a big money team, but money's just that's not the main focus of this. I've had some fortunate things happen, so I've been able to put some money into some big teams. But anyone that focuses on the money doesn't get it, because that's really not what it's about.
It's the relationships.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Money's nice though.
So, but for me, well, no, obviously we can't do.
You can't do without us.
I mean,
right.
We can't do what you're not going to. Look, you're not going to beat Hill. If you don't spend some money.
That's right.
But there's also teams that spend. I mean, there's teams that have spent a lot more than we spent when we were winning, world championships. And again, I don't know what I should say and what I shouldn't say, but I will let you know a little secret. I had to overpay when I was first starting to get get some of these players.
Right.
But then once you assemble a team and you have a team that's competing for a world championship, you don't have to overpay, because people want to win. They want to win.
They gravitate to that team.
We're are we spending money? Yes, obviously we're spending money. Are we spending crazy amounts of money? Well, I guess that's all relative. But I can tell you, we're not spending the money that other teams spend that really don't have much of a chance to win.
Sure.
And so I think we try to spend our money wisely, and so for whatever that's worth.
Actually, I got a question, Bob. Like, if someone is listening with the resources listening now, why should they get involved in Fastpitch?
Great question, right?
That's a great question. I remember when we got a new accountant, like, I don't know, 25 years ago. And I'm explaining how we help sponsor this team. And I want to use this to write off, marketing and so forth. Like you would sponsor a little league team.
Right.
And he goes, you can't do that. And he goes, this is your hobby, so he says, well, how much money do you spend? So I tell him, and he says, well, if you win every tournament you play, how much do you win? And I told him, which was, as you guys know, it's like 1/100th or whatever.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he goes, you've got a bad model. and I go, I know I have a bad model, but that's not why you do it. I said, I don't have a boat. I said, this is my boat.
Gotcha.
And, and I do it because, I get, somebody once told me that anyone can lose, but not everyone can win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really deep, if you think about it. And fortunately, I've surrounded myself around people who are winners. And to be the best in the world at something. I golfed earlier today, and I only played 9 holes because I had to come, in the afternoon, I had to come home for this. And I was explaining to somebody, I said, I'm going to be interviewed on a podcast. And they're like, what are you talking about? You know? and I maybe I shouldn't put it this way. I said, I'm a big deal in a weird little world that not many people care about. and
that's a good way of putting it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, but so I'm like, I get it, I understand it, but I enjoy being around the game.
Yeah,
so when you say to me, why would somebody want to do it? I mean, I played. You know, I don't know if I was good enough to play on the Gremlins. Maybe I was good enough to be on the Gremlins. I don't know. I could field. I was a pretty good fielder. I couldn't hit. By the time I was playing at the major level, you know, I was really I found the game in my mid-30s. So by the time I, you know, sort of got a little better, I was in my late 30s, and it was too late. So I you know, I couldn't hit that stuff. But I had good hands, and I could play, you know, defensively. So, but at least I played the game, and I respect the game, and I love the game, and you know, and to you know, for the challenge of trying to assemble a group that has a common goal. And I mean, think about it. These guys leave wherever it is, Argentina, you know, well, our guys, you know, Australia, New Zealand, wherever, and come over here for 10, 12 weeks or whatever, and leave their families in most cases. I mean, it's crazy. Like, who would do that, and why would you do that? But it's what we do. And
absolutely.
You know, so I don't know. That would be my answer. It's that, if that's what appeals to you, and being part of that fraternity and part of that community, then and then, you know, who knows where it's going to go. I mean, you know, that's why, you know, in a lot of cases you kind of hook up with, you know, other people that have similar interests and some resources, and you know, it you know, eases the burden a bit. So
yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
We battle it constantly. So
yeah,
trying to find that elusive sponsor.
Here's a question for you, Bob. When you guys won the last one with the Gremlins there, did you ever expect that it was going to be on the back of a 19-year-old?
Things were winding down, and you know, we figured we'd ride it out with Cheese, and then along comes Jack, and again, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell you these things, but you know, at that you know, at that world tournament where Jack kind of, you know, made center stage and won for Australia, I'm texting Leather, and I'm like, this kid's special, you know, like, because originally the thought was, well, I don't, you know, is he, you know, can he help us?
Right.
And I'm watching the games, and I'm like, you know, this kid's pretty special.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, maybe he can help us. And Leather writes back, and he goes, he's already signed. You can be quiet. Don't worry about it. So,
That's awesome.
but that's what I mean by Leather. Like, you know, here I am.
He's all over.
You know, here I am. Like, I'm going to text Leather. Like, hey, I think maybe we got to take a look at this kid. And you know, you know, but he was 4 steps ahead of me.
Yeah.
So, and he's a great kid. He's a great kid.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know, but we had Cheese that first year, and you know, we got into the losers bracket, and you know, if we didn't have Cheese, I don't know if we would have, you know, won the 3 games on Saturday like we did. And but he had a lot left in him when we, you know, in that championship game, and when he gets it going, he's
good.
He's special.
I said it on here many times. He's almost like a combination of Cheese and Adam. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like the lefty, and then the glasses. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like, and the hard throwing. Just, I don't know. He's just a freak. And the fact, like,
the fact that he's still U23
World
crazy.
Cup he gets to play in April. Like, what is going on? Like, it's just unreal.
Well, and there's one question I don't have an answer to, and maybe some of our guys do, but how do you get that good at 19 or 18 or, you know, whatever? I don't know how you get that good. I don't know what he was doing. Apparently he was throwing with his father, but like, I don't know how you get that good that early.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable. It really is. It's
Anyway,
great.
hats off to him. He's got a long.
And he's a good kid.
So.
And he's
Yeah,
he's a good kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we had him on here.
Yeah, he was
and
awesome.
Had to talk. He was
Great to
just
speak to.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic to talk to. Yeah. Before we get into the final segment here that we always do, couple quick questions for you.
Sure.
Just over your career here, who would you say is the best pitcher you ever saw?
I saw Ty Stofflet throw when I was just a kid, and he was pretty special. When by the time I got to the major game, Darren Zach was
Money.
past his time. Yeah, but obviously you could see, even at that, you could see he was something special.
Oh yes. Yeah.
But and obviously all the pitchers the great pitchers that threw for me. Michael White was at the end of his career a phenomenal student of the game.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, he was.
And look what he's doing now with Texas. Like,
no, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I know you had him on too, but
yes.
he's one of my favorite people in the game. I already talked about Todd Martin. Frank Cox was, he threw hard.
Yeah.
Obviously Cheese didn't dominate, but Cheese kept you in every game.
Yeah.
Cheese, I never saw Cheese have a bad game. He's just like, that's what made him so special. But if you ask me who the best I ever saw for a long period of time, to me it would have to be Adam. He was something. And then, I saw him when he was pretty young too, and you knew he was going to be special.
Yeah. I got a funny story I mentioned on here about Adam. Was when we were I went down and played in the 2010 AAUs in Florida there in January that they used to have. And we played against Adam. I actually still have the box score.
Yeah.
Him and I were head to head pitching, but our team, we got, I think it was around the 6th inning. He was throwing a perfect game, and one of our guys hit a foul ball straight back to the screen, and the crowd cheered.
There you go.
Just
kind of like Dr. Bob's foul ball talk.
Exactly.
Exactly. I can relate. I can relate to that.
It was so funny. And just the fact that
I got a ticker.
Watching him play, just getting to see him like right in 2010, seeing him throw is just, as a pitcher myself, just being like, wow, this is the pinnacle. This is the guy who's the best in the world right now. And getting to see him live was phenomenal. It was
funny.
amazing. Yeah.
I remember in '94, I faced Darren Zach and Ken Games Diamond, and I got a foul ball, and I was happier than pig and shit.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Who would be, I guess, Bob, who would be looking back, or even that, like, who's the most clutch hitter that you've seen?
Oh, that's an easy one to answer. That would be Jody Ite.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Got more clutch hits than anyone. I'll also tell you what happened in that 2008 game. We were behind 3-0, came back and tied it. Blair hit a 2-run home run against Dino, as you said earlier, in the 5th inning. Yep. And then in the 6th inning, Wolfie hit a home run to tie it 3-3. And we were visitors. So we go to the top of the 7th, and we got a couple runners on. Dino was probably getting a little tired, and Jody Ite comes up. So the score is tied. I think there's a runner on first, and I'm standing at the fence, where the gate is to go out. And I'm standing off to the side, and Patty Shannon's on deck, and Patty's, standing on the other side of the fence, 3 feet from me. And Jody Ite took 2 pitches right down the middle of the plate. Didn't move his bat an inch. And Patty Shannon turns around to me and he says, "What's he doing?" And I said, "I have no idea." And the 3rd pitch, I'm not sure if it's landed yet. And that was the game-winning home run. It was one of the longest home runs I ever saw.
Wow.
But that's what Jody could, and if you look at the box score, I think this is correct. I think Jody struck out the first 3 times in that game.
Wow.
So that's what what a phenomenal clutch hitter is, because he wasn't having a good game.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about the 3 strikeouts, but I know but anyway, he was able to just block all that out.
Yeah.
And he's a phenomenal clutch hitter.
Yeah.
That is such an important part of the game, being able to block that out.
Yeah.
We talk about that in our circle too. Like, even, for example, we had a guy that was 0-for-3 last year, and then last year at Nationals, his last at bat, he had a sacrifice fly to right field, got the ball, and we won the game. Like, that is clutch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same idea. Like, it's resetting yourself, forgetting about that.
That's
yeah.
right.
I love that.
That's right.
So we try to teach the kids that stuff too. It's amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know that I said this was the last thing before we got to the final segment, but actually I got one more. So I guess how involved in the game are you now today, Bob? Like, what's your role in the game?
I think out of respect, Leather will call me and say, hey, we're thinking of signing this guy, and, or we're thinking of, we're going to these tournaments during the year. So, technically I'm in uniform. Well, it was funny. Leather asked me to come back, and I said, okay, I'll come back. I talked to Greg, my son, and I said, we'll come back. I said, but it's only, one condition. I'm not going to be in uniform. I said, because Jim Hallman back then, well, still today, or as long as he was involved, he always just sat in the stands. He was never in uniform. I said, I'm going to sit in the stands with Jim Hallman. And, and he says, okay. And I go up for the first weekend, go to one game. After the first game, Leather walks over to me, has a uniform in his hands, and he says, the boys say you look out of place. You got to be in uniform. So I am, I'm in uniform, and, and I think, again, out of respect, I'm a bench coach is basically
sure.
what I do during the games. I don't get involved. Those guys are filling out the lineup. Although I do have a saying that coaches don't fill out the lineup, players do.
100%.
And I believe that. But, and even like Blair will tell you, Blair Ezekiel, he'll tell you people told him not to come with us, that they won't play. And I remember, he was platooning a bit early, and I remember saying to Denny, I said, Denny, this kid's hitting over 400. And I said, when you don't want to play him in the field, he's got a DH. And, and that's what we did. And so, you're hitting over 400, you're going to be in there.
Yeah.
And actually, Brad and I, Blair's brother, Brad and I have a special relationship, because he knows he was the 19-year-old kid on that 09 team.
Yeah.
I think he might tell you I was 21. I don't know, but I think he was a 19-year-old kid on that 09 team, and he wasn't playing a lot of Sundays. And Brad knows I went to Denny and I said, that kid's got to be playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't care. That kid can play. And Brad, Brad knows I kind of went to bat for him, and, we've, not that it, I mean, I certainly had nothing to do with Brad turning into Brad,
wow.
but, he knows I went to bat for him, and
that's nice.
I have the utmost respect for him, and we have a good relationship.
You obviously had a good eye, because the guy turned out
the
the
guy's
best hitter in the world.
amazing. He's the best hitter in the world. There's no question.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Bob, we got a thing we like to end the podcast with. It's called Player Association. I'm going to throw out some names to you. We changed it. It's now just one word. So I'm going to throw it. Just give one word to describe them. And I have a feeling that if you have a story about them, you're going to let it fly anyway. So.
Yeah. You're more than welcome to.
So first one I have up is Larry Lynch.
How do I say one word about Larry Lynch? How do I say one word about any of these people?
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, it's not one word, but a good friend. He's just a good friend. I respect Larry a lot, and we've been together a lot, and we're back together in the same family. So
nice. Beautiful. Yeah.
Right on. Dean Holine.
Again, fierce competitor. What he did in 2009, I told him, what he did in 2009 in that championship game couldn't be done. And he did it. And, he had that, I won't say that reputation, but he always had trouble sort of, he didn't get over the hump. Well, in 2009, he did.
Yeah.
And he was, and one of the funniest people. One quick story about Dean. We're playing early in the year. And again, I'm sorry, you're going to have to just hang up on me.
No, Bob, keep going. We love it.
this.
We love this stuff.
Our listeners love this.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well, Dean, we're playing. I don't know where we're playing. Somewhere up in Ontario at a tournament halfway through the year. And Dean pitched the first game, and then he had to go catch a flight. So he leaves. He's off to the side getting changed so he could take the flight. And the next game's going on. We started the next game. So, and I mean, the parking lot was 50 yards from the field, and so now we're in the game started, and all of a sudden Dean yells over, and he goes, "Hey boys, where do we play next week?" And the whole team turns around and looks, and Dean Holine's standing there completely naked. But that was Dean. That was Dean. I mean, you gotta love him, and
that's amazing.
He's one of my special people, and
what an animal! I love it.
I love the man.
That's crazy. Actually, it's a funny story to me because back to that 2009 game in St. Thomas, and Hope you can attest to this one because remember Dino pitched, but he was DPing in that game.
Yeah. And
in the 7th inning, you guys were down by 1 because Hopi, you hit the solo shot in the top of the 7th to put us up 4-3. And Dino was able to hit, and he led off the top or the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, your diaper was full.
Oh my! That's the scaredest I've ever been on the mound, throwing to somebody and seeing him. Digging in the box there, and I was like, "Oh."
He's like a raging bull in there too.
I know.
He's so fucking
like,
mad.
what is going on?
Yeah,
especially after
He's
what
so
just
mad.
happened.
Yeah.
That's to this day I'll never forget that, and I still have nightmares about it. But
he's a gentle giant.
Oh,
yeah, we know.
oh,
yeah, he's got the heart of
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Next up, I have is Ryan Wolf. We know all about this guy.
Yeah, I mean, just a class individual and the best. I mean, I respected him so much as a player, but just as a human being. He was a quiet leader. He led that team, but he didn't say much. He did not say much, but if Wolfie says something, you're going to listen.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had him on the pod here, and it was
just awesome.
Speaking words of wisdom. It was such a fantastic episode. It was great. Next up is Blair Ezekiel or Ezekiel. How do you pronounce it? Ezekiel.
Well, Denny asked me to call him when we signed him, and he didn't answer the phone. It says, Blair Ezekiel, leave a message. So I left a message. They called me back. I called Denny. I go, the kid pronounces his name wrong. And Denny goes, well, Bob, it's his name. I think he knows how to pronounce his name. And I said, well, I'm just telling you he pronounces it wrong.
That is good. Shit, fuck.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Blair, I'm a teacher at heart. I've been that's what I've done my whole career, and I like to feel like I've kind of helped young people along the way, as my students at Villanova, and Blair's one of the ones that I feel like I was able to help, because he wasn't the most And obviously he'll probably listen to this. I'll probably get a phone call, but he knows it's out of love. But he needed to mature a little bit, and I think maybe I helped a little bit in that respect. And he's I don't know if he's engaged now or if he's just with his girlfriend, but they're starting a school in Wisconsin for coaching. And he called me up and he says my favorite softball years were with the Riversharks. He said we'd like to name the school the Riversharks, and he said, but I'll only do it with your approval. And of course,
oh, cool.
Of course I approved it, but that was a nice phone call to get, and nice that, Blair's doing that kind of stuff and giving back.
It's really good. Really good.
That's awesome. You kind of mentioned him briefly here that I didn't really know that he was part of you, but Sean Cleary.
Sean, again, the years run together. I don't know if Sean played a year with us. I know he was an ASA pickup several times.
Oh yeah.
But again, another quiet, another quiet guy.
Yep.
And, but, a fierce competitor. And, again, someone else I respect a lot. And, he beat us in 23 to send us in the losers bracket, and then we were fortunate enough to come back and beat him in the finals. But there's another kid who can, everybody's a kid to me. But another guy that could beat anybody on any given night, and I just want one of them. If he's at a ballpark, he's one of the people I'll walk out of my way to go over and say hello and
absolutely,
see how he's doing.
Yeah.
I just have so much respect for him.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I just wish we'd get him on the podcast. Him and Adam, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, they won't do it.
They won't come on.
No.
Anyway.
Another guy here doing very well as a coach in the women's game, Travis Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Travis is not surprising he's doing well, because he's one of the smartest players. He was a real student of the game. And I don't know. Yeah. Do people really get people answering in one word? I mean, I don't know how you can do that.
Kind of, sort of. Some guys will just say, all
right. Well, then I'm really screwing this up.
No, gosh, Bob, this is perfect.
It.
No, this is perfect.
All right, but for Travis, I mean, he's just a smart player. He's always in the right place. He was always, doing the right thing, and bunting when you should bunt, or stealing when you should steal. Oh, he hated bunting, so I probably shouldn't have said that. But, just always seemed to be doing the right thing, even if it didn't necessarily work out. You knew you had the right strategy with it. With him.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
Definitely. 3 more here. Danny Bruckert.
Well, I mean, there's no way I could talk about Danny with one word. I mean,
true.
He's just he was one of the finest human beings, and he wasn't with the team. I forget. Leather's going to shoot me. I can't remember. We got him one of the ASA championships after Denny got sick and wasn't able to be with us. We got ring. We got, I guess maybe it was 08. I can't remember now. But I brought 2 rings to him, because he and Susan were in Florida. And I drove up and brought the rings to him, and that was and one of my favorite pictures is a picture of me and Denny with that biggest smile Denny I ever had, with those 2 wearing those 2 rings. And
nice.
But I wouldn't, you wouldn't be talking to me if it wasn't for Denny Bruckert, because nice. He really he really introduced me to the right people, and I learned so much from him. About how to run a major team.
Right on. Var Matiosian. Let it fly. Let it go.
This will be a one-worder.
Asshole.
Whoa.
All right,
move on.
You said one word. No. I mean, Varm knows I love him. I just right before I left for Florida, I was up to see him, and Varm's a loyal friend. He's a great guy. As I said, the 18 championship, to me, that was about, for me personally, that was about Varm, getting Varm his ring and, sort of getting the jinx off of Varm.
Yeah.
I love Varm. He's got a great heart. He's a good friend, and he called me up a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I want to come down to Florida and see you and play some golf. And I said, just tell me when you're coming, and let's do it.
Nice, that's awesome.
He's good for the game.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Hey, he's a beauty. He gives back more than the game than people realize, and we love him for it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Last but certainly not least, Mr. Greg Leather.
Well, I've already talked about him. It's hard to. There's no one that I respect more than Greg Leather, and Greg, if there was a decision that we had to make for the Gremlins that would hurt softball, he wouldn't make it.
Right.
He wouldn't make it. He cares more about the game than he does about the Gremlins. And I don't know if you could say that about everybody that is involved with a big team.
Right.
But that's Greg Leather. I love the man. And again, he would, if he called me up and said, I need you to do whatever, I'm saying, where do you need me? When do you need me? I'm there. And
that's nice.
I am a little surprised. Maybe one final story. Did Leather tell you to ask me about something?
Oh, did he? I have to, maybe he did.
Okay. Coffee cup. Did he say anything about coffee cup to you guys?
Just a sec. I'm going back through my text with him now.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell the story.
Let it fly.
Yeah, you far away.
Let it go.
I'll tell you the story quickly. Denny Bruckert unfortunately passed away, as probably everybody in the sport knows, and we were all asked to be pallbearers, so we all flew out, and so they had the viewing the night before, and so we go to the viewing, and so then on the way to the funeral, we stopped for coffee. Well, I don't drink coffee, so I drink iced tea. So I grab an iced tea, and that has nothing to do with the story. It's irrelevant. But so we walk in, and people are lined up again to go to the viewing. Well, I'm thinking we went last night. We're not going again. But Leather and everybody else gets in line to go, pay their respects to Susan again and the family. So I'm like, all right, I'll get in line. So, but I'm holding this, what Leather says is a coffee cup. And so I get to the front of the line. Now Leather's in front of me. So Leather leaves, and I'm getting ready to go up and hug Susan. And I say to Leather, here, hold this cup. And Leather goes, nope.
What?
And I'm like, he goes, you look like an idiot holding that cup. I'm not bailing you out. And I'm like, and I'm standing at Denny Bruckert's funeral holding this cup, and he left me hanging, and it was awful. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So I have to go put it down and then go. So anyway, so Denny, one of Denny's, probably Denny's best friend is Jose Akendo, who played for the St. Louis Cardinals, coached third base for the Cardinals, and Jose was another pallbearer. So we get back to after going to the cemetery, after the burial, we're at the restaurant, and I said to Leather, I said, I don't think Jose speaks English, and he said, why? And I said, well, I was talking to him a little bit, but I wasn't getting anything out of him. I said, he goes, Bob, he speaks perfect English. And I said, oh. And he says he just doesn't want to be seen with coffee cup guy.
That's amazing.
So, of course, Leather goes up to Jose and he says, hey, you were talking to that guy over there. And he says, yeah. And he says, he thinks you can't speak English. He says, but I told him it was because he was holding that coffee cup. And, of course, Jose goes, yeah, what was that guy doing holding that coffee cup? So he remembered exactly who I was. So,
Oh, my God.
so if you ever need somebody, well, yeah. So and Leather still talks about that, you know. So
that's awesome.
Amazing.
What a perfect way to end this podcast. Oh,
Hey, Bob, you have a big birthday coming up too, end of next month, I believe. Do you not?
Well, if you're hearing, I'm going to be 70. I'm actually going to be 69 in March, at the end of March.
Oh, 69. I thought it was supposed to be 70 in the end of March. Okay, very good.
No.
that's why.
So,
57.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, that you probably got that from Varm, and Varm's trying to add a year.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 68 now, so
Very good.
Right on. Well, listen, Bob, thank you so much for taking time out of your, only golfing 9 holes and then coming on the
that's
podcast.
amazing.
I mean, that's amazing.
It's a big deal.
What a great story
world.
you had to tell. And, thank you for everything you've done for the game. It's just awesome for what you did and being able to hear your story. We really appreciate you coming on.
Go Wildcats. Appreciate you, Bob.
Well, I appreciate what you guys do. You're doing great work and, helping to promote the sport. And I'm glad to be a very small part of it. So thank you for, I can tell you this was the highlight of my week. So thank you.
Oh, very good.
Awesome.
We love it.
We'll definitely keep in touch there, Bob.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Chris.
Okay,
All right,
take care. Nice talking to you. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
What an episode.
Wow. Fucking great.
That was awesome.
You and I talk about a lot when the guests do the most of the speaking. It's so amazing. And Bob was the epitome of one of the best guests. Yeah,
that was
great.
awesome.
Yeah. So good. So good.
That coffee cup story is legendary. I can't wait to
There's a few good ones. I like when he called Ezekiel. That guy said his last name wrong.
That's so good.
Anyway, that was really good.
I can't wait to text Greg after this.
Yeah, that was good. That was really
awesome.
Good. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. I think you had something that we were gonna mention at the end of the podcast.
Yeah. I just wanted to congratulate and actually thank 2 coaches that have stepped up for our Canada Games programs in Nova Scotia. Jeff Fraser, who is a long time Canada Games coach, U23 coach. He coaches on the senior team with myself. He has stepped up and he's taken the 2029 Nova Scotia Canada Games boys team, which is amazing for our province. Again,
he is seeking that gold medal.
Yeah.
He has a bronze.
He's been all around
and
all around it. Yeah.
And they have a good crew coming up.
And they do, yeah. So thank you and congratulations. And then the second one is a nice big one too, is our women's program for 2029 has been graciously taken over by head coach, former Olympic coach, Team Canada player, Mark Smith.
Smitty.
Yeah.
What an acquisition.
Oh man, it's huge for our province. It's a feather in our cap as being part of softball Nova Scotia. A lot of people, I got a text from a couple of different people saying, awesome that this is going on. It's great for softball Nova Scotia. And I replied, yeah, it is awesome, but there will be people that will complain about it.
100%. Yeah.
It's amazing. We're so very excited about it.
It's going to be those people that complain that don't know anything about ball.
No dick about shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, that was one thing I wanted to mention. Yeah, we're very happy to have
you
Jeff
and I, we talked about Smitty prior, before it was announced anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. That's absolutely massive. And actually I had texts to me about that saying, wow, that's a big get. And I think you're absolutely right.
You should have heard how it went down though. So Jeff and I, of course, are very close friends and we've discussed many, many times. And Jeff said, he had interest in doing it again. And I was like, absolutely, Jeff, this would be perfect for the boys game. And then he said, yes, I want to do it. So then we did we went through the motions and he came on board. But I got a phone call from Smitty, it was a text on a Tuesday evening about 2-3 weeks ago, whatever it was. And he said, hey, hope he, do you want to meet for lunch on Thursday? It's on me. I'm like, yeah, sure. And me being the fucking
president of softball Nova Scotia.
The president of softball Nova Scotia and my anxiety being peaked at what it was. I'm like, what the fuck did I do wrong? And Mark Smith wants to sit down and buy me lunch. He's going to give me shit about something. I know it.
Yeah.
We sat down. He's like, Yeah. So anyway, Hopi, I was just looking for your support if I wanted to be the Canada Games girls coach for 2029. I was like, fuck, Smitty, you could have fucking sent me a text saying that. I would have been so happy, but I ain't going to take your lunch for free.
Yeah, really.
Anyway, yeah, I was very, very excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very exciting for the sport.
Yeah,
It's you know what it should drive to, what I was thinking too, and both on boys and girls side, is it should drive the competitiveness now at the 14, 15, 16-year-old ages to want to make that Canada Games program for both boys and girls.
Exactly.
Because you got both those teams are going to have great opportunity in front of them.
Yep.
And it's going to be a 4-year program too, the way that Smitty and Jeff both talked about it. They want to start running it this year.
Right.
Not as teams, but with tryouts and
isn't there a camp coming up 1st of April in East Hants, Halifax? Because I think isn't Frankie and Eric,
yeah. Oh yes,
Janet,
yeah.
Janet's coming down?
Smitty and Jeff Cameron.
Yes,
They're hosting what is there? I'm sorry, I can't remember the academy is called, but
yes,
I'm part of it as well. Yeah. So Todd King's coming out, Larissa.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it's a camp for boys and girls. Yeah,
that's good.
That's
it's in April.
Easter weekend,
right?
April 4th.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
yeah.
Something like that.
So anybody wants to sign up for that because that's a plethora of knowledge there.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So another week, another episode. What a great episode. Thanks again, Bob. We got more coming up. It's going to be great.
Listen, we have 460 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
We do. You were 460. Thanks.
I became 460.
Thanks for finally doing it.
And that's fucking stupid. I never even thought I wasn't on there. I implore people to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please do.
Please. All right. Another week. Hobie.
Yeah, peace out.
See you in a couple.
AI guy.
Yeah. From the diamond to the mic. Fastpitch worldwide. Outside the chute, outside the chute. Yeah, we talk that truth. From the circle to the plate, every pitch on proof. Global game, yeah, we cover that road. If it's fast pitch ball, we outside the chute. Outside the chute, worldwide on the feed. Every story, every grind, every swing we need. From north to south, overseas and route. If it's fast pitch life, we outside the chute. Framer on the mic, breaking news like glass. From the dugout dirt to the World Cup path. History, legacy, future on deck. Every ace, every bat, yeah, we earn that rep. From college lights to the pro league rise. Every underdog story getting worldwide eyes. No bias, just ball, just facts, just fire. If it happened on the field, we taking you higher. Opie in the booth, got the insight locked. From the clubhouse vibes to the last out drop. Deep dives, real talk, players all in. Every journey, every grind, every loss, every win. Canada, USA's, overseas too. If you lace up spikes, yeah, we know you. Fast pitch culture, every era, every age. From legends to the next ones, taking center stage. Outside the chute, yeah, we talk that truth. From the circle to the plate, every pitch on proof. Global game, yeah, we cover that route. If it's fast pitch ball, we outside the chute. Outside the chute, worldwide on the feed. Every story, every grind, every swing we need. From north to south, overseas en route. If it's fast pitch life, we outside the chute. More than a pod, it's a fast pitch home where the game gets love no matter the zone. If you live that grind, yeah, you know the roots. Turn the volume up. Outside the chute, from brave front legends to the next wave stars. Draft night dreams and those bad